Hi everyone and welcome to a quick edition of Fit Mama. My name is Caira and I'm the founder and head coach of Fit Mama Fitness. We are a business that works with females predominantly postpartum, and we work in classes, we work online, and we work with corporate wellness programs as well. I actually still see clients, and the clients that I see often come out with some really good key questions that I know that you guys are interested in finding out the answers to as well. So today's quick session is all about breastfeeding and exercise. And the key question is, will exercising and increasing my fitness and increasing my exercising, will that have any effect on my milk supply because I'm breastfeeding? So here is my answer. There are a number of professional areas and professional organisations, groups, associations that you can reach out to discuss breastfeeding. And this is a zero judgment zone. I have no judgment and I have no opinion whether or not you breastfeed or not. In my personal opinion, a fed baby is what we're trying to get to. So putting the baby aside and concentrating solely on the mum, what I would say to you is, from my own experience and from training hundreds of new mums, I would say the following. Breastfeeding is all about, and the ability to produce milk and keep your milk supply going, is all about key areas of your lifestyle in addition to your physical ability to produce milk. Okay, so the physical ability to produce milk really has to be left to a professional. So you'll have below this video, I will put some links to areas and associations that you can contact to get a little bit more information on the medical side. On the fitness side, when you are producing milk, the key areas that you are looking to make sure are kept in check are your nutrition and also your hydration. So there is this correlation with, if I start to do fitness and I start to increase my fitness and I start to exercise 4 or 5 times a week, that's going to have an impact on my breast milk supply. And that's a really difficult one to myth slay or to give a tick on the truth box, because the reality is, as you found out through pregnancy, delivery, your baby and you, every single situation is completely and utterly different. So what I would say to you is, if you have to keep your nutrition really good and eating well, eating the correct portion sizes, eating fresh fruit, vegetables, making sure you're not eating processed foods. If you are eating well and consuming well, forget about your calorie count and forget about how much you're eating. I'm talking about the actual quality of what it is you're consuming, alongside hydration. And hydration for me is really simple. It's water. So you don't need to be all fancy about it. You can literally just drink water all day. So when you are breastfeeding, these are the two areas that are key for your body to then to be able to function for you, so that you can physically get about your day-to-day work, day-to-day job, day-to-day living, household, whatever it is you're doing in the house, in addition to your fitness regime, which could be anything from 20 to 45 minutes per day, depends on what fitness plan you are doing. So with that in mind, if you can bear in mind and keep your food and nutrition in check and be fully hydrated, and you are a female who's able to produce milk, then your milk supply should not be affected via exercise or increasing your exercise. Where the slight grey area comes into play is when women don't keep up with their hydration, don't keep up with their nutrition, or do something like, I'm 3 months postpartum, I want to lose this body fat that I've gained during pregnancy, I'm going to cut my calories, I'm going to exercise 4 or 5 times a week. It's only when you start to go down this route that your body is being deprived almost of key nutrients in order to then produce breast milk. So we don't advocate that at all in Fit Mama, at all. We are all about strength and health. It may be that you need to be reducing your calorie count, but certainly that's not a focus for us, and definitely not when you're in a breastfeeding zone, okay? So top things for you to do: keep hydrated. It's really, really easy to keep hydrated. You don't have to have ice cold water. I know for me personally, I find that drinking ice cold water hits my stomach and it doesn't feel so comfortable. So I drink room temperature water. I will make up a bottle of water that I can carry about with me anywhere that I'm going. I fill it up and then I keep refilling that as the day progresses. You can add to your bottles anything from sliced cucumber to give it a nice refreshing taste. You can add mint, you can add chopped strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, anything that you like. Rosemary is quite nice too. Anything you like for a little bit of flavour and a little bit of quenching the thirst. In terms of what should I be aiming for to drink all day, totally depends. Depends on your climate, depends on the temperature that you are currently living in. Certainly through the summer months, when depending on what country you're living in, if you are in an extreme heat country, you want to obviously be consuming tons of water so that you yourself are hydrated, and then your body can then start to produce the milk. If it's a case of winter, I've known in winter season when it's colder, maybe you're doing a workout outdoors, you're getting some fresh air, it's a little bit cooler, your need and your want to be drinking water often depletes a little bit. You don't feel thirsty. And I can understand why the temperature's cooler when you're working out, so your body doesn't feel that need to actually have something to drink. In that case, I would have slightly warm water. So I'd get one of these little cups that you get for tea and coffee, and I'd probably put some, not boiling, but certainly boiled and cooled water into there so that it's not freezing cold and it's actually quite nice, it's enjoyable to drink. And that's what I would do. In terms of things like your teas and coffees, you entirely up to you. There's no opinion based on that from me anyway, but certainly they're going to be more of a dehydration than they are going to be a hydration. So I would probably stay clear, especially of caffeine. Anything that's caffeinated, I would stay clear of as much as possible and stick to the non-caffeinated drinks that you can have that will certainly boost up your hydration. All about creating habits. So what you need to do with that is perhaps set a timer on your phone in the morning, set it off as an alarm, and automatically with that alarm have a 60-minute snooze attached to that alarm. So that alarm will go off at 9 a.m. for an example. You'll take a cup of water, you'll drink your cup of water, go about whatever you're doing, you've snoozed your alarm. An hour later that alarm will go off again. Oh, that's the reminder, you go and take another a glass of water, you drink that, you snooze your phone, and that's you again for another hour. And that works perfectly if you're back to work as well. So if you're a breastfeeding mom that is back to work, and you are, you have a computer system, an email system that has a calendar attached, then that works perfectly for that as well. So the key is, in link to fitness, there will be plenty of people that will say, oh, watch your milk supply, you're exercising. And to be brutally honest, there's no hard and fast rule with that. There are no reports that have come out that I've read or come across to date that agree with that or kill the myth. So you really have to focus on you and what is happening with your body. I myself, to give you a personal experience, I was back to work as a personal trainer 6 weeks postpartum, and I was training clients plus myself to get back into fitness, to the fitness level of a PT. And I breastfed my son until he was 15 or 16 months. Now, obviously, that gradually reduced down, and I wasn't breastfeeding nearly as much as I was at the beginning. He was exclusively breastfed for around about 5 or 6 months, and thereafter, that breastfeeding reduced. I had no effect in my milk supply whatsoever, and I was training maybe 2 to 3 hours per day, albeit with clients, so they weren't hardcore sessions on my own. Wasn't physically possible at 6 weeks postpartum, 8 weeks, 10 weeks postpartum. But certainly my milk supply did not reduce in any way. I lived at the time in Switzerland, and the summer there that year was extremely hot. My son was born in May. So throughout that summer I was in quite extreme heat, also training at altitude, and there was no effect to my breast milk at all. Now, I kept well hydrated, I wasn't drinking any alcohol, I was eating really well, and I was physically fit. So these elements for me worked really well, and also breastfeeding is done on a supply and demand. So if you need to get a little bit more understanding about how breastfeeding works, and how milk is produced. I'm going to stick some links below this YouTube video so that you can get that information. But what I would say is, from my personal experience, it was eating really well, drinking constantly, especially whilst I was breastfeeding, drinking water, exercising, and I did not feel any effect at all. The mums that I have trained are the exact same. I find a lot of my mums, my encouragement to them is when they come to a Fit Mama class, feed your baby as close to the start of the class as possible for two reasons. One, your breasts are empty, or if you do one side and then the other later, you don't have to use both breasts for feeding. But if you can feed just immediately prior to the class, you will be more comfortable to work out with empty breasts. They won't be full. Your baby is content because they are fully fed. They've got full stomach, and you will be able to get your 45-minute Fit Mama class workout when you come to my class. And then immediately after, it could be a change the diaper and then start the feeding again. But certainly the mums that I have at my class are the exact same. There is nobody that is relating fitness, exercise to a drop in their milk supply. I hope that answers some of these questions. It is, as per usual, up to the individual, and I am welcome to answer any questions that you may have yourself. Please feel free to get in touch. It is hello@fitmama.co, and you can get in touch with us, and we would be more than happy to hear your stories and to help you out with any information on breastfeeding and exercise. Thanks very much.